Good day, here is the news at noon. First, the highlights. Lagos State Governor seeks proactive measures to combat epidemics. Federal government begins disbursement of 75 billion naira loans to MSMEs. On the foreign scene, Hezbollah attack drones target Tel Aviv army base as Israel pounds Lebanon. And in sport, Nigeria defeats Guinea to retain International Handball Trophy Africa title. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has stressed the importance of African leaders in developing an African health strategy that is proactive, resilient, and visionary. Governor Sanwo-Olu said such a strategy must be capable of addressing both current needs arising from past pandemic experiences and fortifying the continent against future global health security threats. The governor gave the advice while speaking at the opening of the 10th African Conference on One Health and Biosecurity, themed From Ebola to COVID-19 and Beyond, Strengthening Africa's Capacity to Address Emerging Global Health Security Threats, held in Lagos. Speaking through his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, Governor Sanwo-Olu said as the continent looks beyond the recent pandemic, African leaders must prioritize strengthening national health systems, invest in primary health care, surveillance and emergency preparedness. He emphasized that Africa must ensure that it improves her community engagement and empowering local leaders, promoting health literacy and combating misinformation. The Lagos State government has extended its ongoing free hypertension and diabetes screening campaign tagged Know Your Numbers, Control Your Numbers by 2 weeks. The program will now run until Sunday, 17th November 2024. Commissioner for Health, Akin Abayomi, who Lagos residents to take advantage of the added time frame to undergo the critical health screenings, initially scheduled to conclude on 3rd November, said the campaign will continue to provide screening services at over 330 designated sites, including 30 general hospitals and 300 primary health centers across the state. Speaking on the reason for the extension, Abayomi emphasized the importance of health screening in combating the silent killer diseases of hypertension and diabetes, which contribute significantly to the disease burden in Nigeria. He added that early detection and management of these conditions are vital to reducing the risk of serious complications, including heart disease, stroke, and kidney failure. The Senate Committee on Marine Transport has announced the indefinite postponement of a scheduled public hearing on the Nigerian Coast Guard bill. Clerk of the committee, Dauda Bukar, in a statement cited the recent passing of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, as the primary reason for the delay. This marks the second postponement of the hearing, which was previously scheduled for Wednesday, November 5. The bill, sponsored by Senator Wasiu Eshiloku, APC Lagos, has the overriding intent to enact legislation seeking to contribute to the country's security, with a special focus on the country's maritime interests and regional coastal security. It is also aimed at ensuring adherence to global norms and standards as they relate to maritime security. Now to the rest of the stories. The federal government has commenced the disbursement of 75 billion naira single-digit loan to micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, through the Bank of Industry, BOI. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Job Creation and MSMEs, Dele Agadumo Johnson, stated this in Abuja at a nationwide town hall meeting to sensitize MSMEs to the Presidential Grant and Loan Scheme. Agadumo Johnson explained that the town hall meeting was going on simultaneously in Ogun, Bauchi, Enugu and Kaduna states, with a view to educate MSMEs on the conditions for accessing the loan. The presidential aide said his office had been collaborating with BOI, which is an important implementing agency for the scheme. The managing director of BOI, Olashubo Olusi, explained that the 200 billion naira presidential intervention fund for MSMEs and manufacturing enterprises was established to support them towards driving economic growth and job creation. Olusi, who was represented by Executive Director, Public Sector and Interventions of BOI, Mabel Ndaji, said MSMEs are the driving force behind the non-oil economy, contributing significantly to innovation, economic growth and job creation in the agriculture, manufacturing and services sectors. Kaduna State Governor Sani Uba has gifted 100,000 naira and smartphones to the released NBAD governance protesters. The governor also promised to rehabilitate the 39 released protesters from Kaduna and empower them if they turn a new leaf. Secretary to Kaduna State Government Abdulkadir Mayere said the governor had directed him to collect the credentials of those who have completed their tertiary education. The SSG also noted that Kaduna State Government will be tracking the activities and conduct of all 39 released End Bad Governance protesters to ensure they are of good behavior before the promised benefits are extended to them. In outer foreign news, Lebanese armed group Hezbollah says it targeted an Israeli military base south of Tel Aviv with a swarm of drones for the first time as Israel launched renewed airstrikes on the southern suburbs of Beirut city. There were no immediate reports of casualties or damage to infrastructure from Israeli authorities. Earlier, Hezbollah also claimed a slew of attacks, including two that targeted naval bases near the Israeli port city of Haifa and another base near Israel's main international airport close to Tel Aviv. The Israel Airport Authority said operations at the airport were not affected by the attack. Following the Hezbollah strikes, Israeli warplanes pounded several areas south of the capital Beirut early this morning. More than 3,000 people have been killed in Israeli strikes on Lebanon over the last year, the vast majority in the past 6 weeks. In our sports, Nigeria's under-18 men's handball team has been crowned as champion of the IHF Trophy Africa Men Continental Phase following a 38-26 victory over Guinea in the final in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The coach, Emeka Nnamani's team, started the match with purposefulness and despite some avoidable turnovers, still won the first half 21-14. Nigeria then came into full effect in the second half to retain the title they won at Congo-Brazzaville 2 years ago. Aziz Sulaiman Alaito was voted the most valuable player of the match. Coach Nnamani said the team prepared for this moment and took the final with all seriousness, appreciating the Handball Federation of Nigeria for the 100% support to the team from the IHF Trophy Africa Zone 3 phase in Ghana to this continental phase. And that is our news at noon. Just before we go, slow down at road junctions, intersections and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration set up a 1 billion naira fund targeted at businesses in the tourism, hospitality, entertainment and arts and culture sectors, both loans and grants? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has stressed the importance of African leaders in developing an African health strategy that is proactive, resilient and visionary. The federal government has commenced the disbursement of 75 billion naira single-digit loan to micro, small and medium enterprises (MSMEs) through the Bank of Industry. We also told you that Lebanese armed group Hezbollah said it targeted an Israeli military base south of Tel Aviv with a swarm of drones for the first time, as Israel launched renewed airstrikes on the southern suburbs of Beirut City. And in sports, Nigeria's under-18 men's handball team has been crowned as champion of the IHF Trophy Africa Men Continental Phase, following a 38-26 victory over Guinea in the final in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Abiola Fagbalagun. I am Dele Agadumo. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening.